Hello and welcome to Living As Is, and I'm Shah. In previous videos, I've been aiming to iron out my understanding towards awakening and autism. One of the ways I viewed awakening was similar to awareness, from the understanding they were perhaps locked within spiritual circles of understanding. This may be due to my growth, or I should say, the way I grew and expanded did seem to go hand in hand with my contact in religious fields of spiritual understanding. Around 2008, I really started to feel myself kind of expanding. Here I was introduced to Advaita Vedanta, and this became the icing on the cake to a life I'd been trying to make sense of. 4 years later, following a lot of study through reading teachers' papers online and watching endless amounts of videos, so much was kind of like ironed out. At the same time, so much was brought into question. Just to backtrack into my life, and around about late September 2011, rose from bed with an incredibly peaceful mind, washed, dressed, and went for a walk. At this time, something was definitely different. I just couldn't put my finger on it. Eventually, reaching a resting place that overlooked the local town I lived next to, I'm sitting there, not thinking of anything in particular, just resting and going over my thoughts and feelings. I happened to look down between my feet, and I saw buttercups. Just right there in the moment, buttercups. And it really felt as if my heart broke open. The beauty I was looking at came over as being so amazingly outstanding that the yellow looked brighter than I'd ever seen it. That moment, it went right into my core, and I broke into tears. That beauty in front of me. As the tears slowed, I stood up, and the scent in the air coming from the fir trees around me, it just added to the amazement I was feeling. The walk home felt as if I'd never seen the view before. Every colour, every smell, the feel of the pathway underfoot. Really amazing. What more can I say? This was one of my first moments where the feelings could be pinned down to an expansion of awareness and a seeing to awakening. And slowly, as time has gone by, everything, emotions, feelings, and thoughts, they all feel to be in the state of expanding awareness. Yet, for the most part, there's been a constant feeling to be still chasing something, an unknown entity, call it being, perhaps awareness, maybe just clarity. Yet, what has been found is simplicity of life. It can be complex as you make it. Life can be lost to you. If you've got no thoughts towards what you're actually looking for, life can be lost. For the most part, as you're seeking, you're in the dark, or you're hunting within the shadows of self, solving your pain, hunting down answers in your own deep, dark forests of loss and despair. Was that dramatic enough? But then answers arrive, either in a sentence provided by a wiser soul, or maybe you read something in a book. Then again, those deep, dark forests of loss and despair open. They open in a clearing, and hey presto, the light is on. The thing is, what I never seemed to come across until much later, all of this takes time. It's like you're training to be a potter, an artist, a race car driver. Everything takes time. Then one day, it all clicks. This is the path of awakening. It all takes time to click. By all means, be the spiritual grasshopper, jumping from instruction to instruction, teacher to teacher, course to course. You go there, you do you. For some, it works. But should you choose to jump all over the place and not get anywhere, you'll have no one to blame but yourself for your own stalling, hesitating, and grinding away for donkey's years because you preferred procrastination. I have this fantastic friend. I can argue a point with them. I can refuse to answer and push back hard. Not because they're easy. Far from it. They can be stubborn. And they won't hesitate to say to me, say that again, but differently. Being forced to rethink a point is amazing. Because if it's your point, it doesn't matter how you say it. It should still arrive at the same spot. But, and this is a lovely but, if you have it wrong, then through being asked to say it again, but differently, you just may see where you went wrong. And that happens with myself sometimes, with my friend. And they're saying to me, say it again, but differently. And I realise in that difference, I might have just veered off. But sometimes, no, I'm coming back to the same spot. Now, how does all of this work? How does all of it work its wonderful way into awakening and autism. Being open to life and all you find in life is one of the main aspects to awakening that I found to be so worthy of the effort. If any effort to open is actually required in the first instance. Another major requirement to awareness will be acceptance. To accept, blocks may rise, pain may rise, difficulties may rise. But this provides excellent opportunity for you to open within and look at what is rising and bloody deal with it. Let it out. Let it cry. Let it be free. At the point of understanding I was autistic, so many questions rose. So much needed to be seen. Even more importantly, so much needed to be integrated. I just mentally became a totally different being to the one I was the day before. I like that sentence. I find that such a fun sentence because when looked upon, in the next second, I can be different to the being I was in the second before, and the second before that, and on it goes. Find that really funny. However, in this instance, I truly did take a leap in being different mentally. I was now opening doors to accept a difference that had been with me since before birth. Before the knowing of autism entered my life, awakening was already slowly making life its partner as it had always been. Unfortunately, life, well, there's a mental aspect to my life. It likes to know more. In this seeing of more, it goes through this crazy ass interpretation of how it all worked in. Yet the awareness was already saying there was nothing to interpret, let alone integrate. After all, autism was present before I came out of the womb and has been present ever since. What was required was not how does this fit awakening, but how do I see myself as an awakening, spiritual, autistic being? The answer should have been really straightforward, as the growing sense of self and being within life had always been present. One of the biggest understandings in life, well, for me anyway, for myself anyway, was that we are creatures of habit. But this little trip of mine into understanding habits was more than just the simple seeing of repeating patterns. It was the understanding. At the time of my diagnosis, 54 years old, I was returning to a view that was totally incorrect. The view being, how does awakening and autism fit together? And this view became a real pain in the derriere, as there is not and never will be a coming together let alone making them fit together. And the reason behind the incorrect view was the 54 years of living a life without the knowing of being autistic, which meant in these 54 years, I became a group of habits that didn't include the understanding to being autistic. Even though I had built habits of autism in autism as an autistic, just without the understanding of doing so. We can easily parallel all of this to all our mental thinking processes. Until we integrate new thoughts, give those thoughts time to be absorbed, we are still going to be the person we used to be. Everything we need to give time to be integrated, time to be absorbed. Change takes place through how we become and grow, through integration of change from understanding life and self. This last few weeks have been difficult. They've been difficult with health issues, needing to give time for procedures to take place, sometimes well over a week apart. Within all this waiting, certain aspects of autism kept kicking in, sensitivities opening, and being on my own. A lot of mental thinking has been taken up. All of this blending in and out around growing awareness and being autistic. The opening that arrived is that in many ways with autism, I'm still the person I used to be. With awakening and self-awareness, that path changes all the time. Sometimes by the second, other times by the week. However, the path of opening and being is ever growing and changing. Seeing myself so openly, giving myself the space to be me on all levels, and knowing from experience aspects of autism will never change as to the way they're ingrained into me and not directly seen. But even through the seeing, they may not change. Yet, this doesn't mean they can't be sensed, as they are sensed. I'll give you a couple of examples. They're wrapped around pretty much the same thing, but perceived in different ways. And this is how the change is taking place for myself. And I would not be surprised in the least if other neurodivergents are already seeing the same. I'm in a chat with a friend. A feeling grows. And in this feeling, I see that I'm talking. And in fact, I'm information dumping. My mind has opened on a favourite subject, and I'm probably not going to stop. As this feeling grows within, a choice comes with it. I can stop myself and open the space for my friend to talk or even respond. That's the first way I've noticed this awareness. There's another slightly different way it opens to me. A feeling grows. With this feeling comes an understanding I'm about to step into information dumping. Because the awareness at this moment is so open. The choice I've currently been making is to stop it from happening and allow the conversation to keep on in the direction it is, or to ask my friend a question. I might not even do that in the future. I might decide I can see I'm going to information dump, but I'm just going to do it and leave it up to my friend to stop me. We'll see in the future. Who knows? What is being shown is that awakening self-awareness is lifting the veils that were obscuring how I am being in the world. That my self-awareness towards myself as a neurodivergent is opening up. And as I've just said, in the future, as this opens more and more, I just might not stop the information dump from taking place. Because I want to talk. It will be up to me. And then it'll be up to my friend or whomever I am with. It'll be up to them to stop me, should they wish to. After all, I do believe in freedom of speech. Something else is slowly showing signs of taking place. The dropping of any mask. For the simple reason I have every right to be myself, no matter how I may be perceived by others. I do feel for too long there has been this rule of thumb in the world. If you don't fit into, work with, or are a part of the standardized normal way of thinking, you are out on the edges and not to be spoken to. Or, as we've developed into looking at the world, if you are not neurotypical, then you are on the outside as a neurodivergent, and to miss out on what has been set up and labelled as normal opportunities. The one thing that's true, I'm an awakening, autistic, self-aware, spiritual being. And to add one final comment before signing off, the following video is going to address something that has come about in the last couple of months. An understanding that has led me to see awakening is not spiritual in the sense you may believe it to be. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Come on, join up, subscribe, sign up to be notified. Come on, sign up, subscribe. Blessings to you all. Thank you.